Disassembly is a fantastically ambitious project for the Serpentine Gallery. We've been working with North Westminster Community School for the last 16 years, and when we found out that the school was going to be closing in summer 2006, we wanted to create some kind of huge project which would involve artists and architects actually working within the school and leading towards its closure.
The current project I'm working on at North Westminster School documents the closure of the school, not in a kind of photojournalist way, but in an artistic way. It requires the students' input by them giving me stories about the space. So they have things knocking around inside of their their headspace, and I help them extract that. I take them as groups, in smaller groups, and we visit those spaces, and we create this kind of panoramic photograph of the space and the experience. Yes, we're just photographing something over there, yeah?
How about the whole lot?
Okay. But what's important is the way in which they compose themselves around that space. Hey, yeah, that's what it was. Keep it there, keep it there. Okay. Yeah, splendid.
His own work deals very much with identity and the complexities of identity through image making, and he really kind of enjoys engagement with and working with different people.
Now, Talal, do you want to look at her? As you get that? Yeah, take a picture. Okay, splendid. Are you on the floor? So what we're left with is these kind of archival, kind of photorealistic images that not only document the space and the history of the space, but they become this kind of artifact. Fantastic.
I'm gonna go.
Over the past few months, I think all of them have shined. But what's nice is that each one has kind of stepped forward and claimed an image.
My favorite photograph out of the series of photographs that we've been doing is my particular one that I took in the library, because the school is a multicultural school with a lot of different people. The books, because they're from different areas in the world, they also represent interests of the population. And also because I want to be a writer when I grow up.
In this picture, like, we all look really upset and kind of locked in and trapped and just feel really down. And so if someone was to see this, they'll think, oh my God, what type of school is that?
From a different way you can look at it, due to like all the agencies and all the organisations that are being built around here, it's like we're being enclosed, we're in a confined space at the moment, and all the like fences and everything they put up make you feel more entrapped within the area, where before it was mainly just ours. So, and the emotions, basically we're sad because at the end of the day it is our school that's being replaced and being knocked down when it was us who was here first.
When I first saw the sixth formers' images, I was really impressed. They were incredibly sophisticated, and they were things that would obviously come out through a very kind of engaged dialogue with Faisal.
When I showed the kind of images to kind of Louise and Sally, they were keen. They loved the images, and they said, we'd love to have the kind of Year 10s working in this way. I think what's happened is that the Year 10s have almost kind of gone past the sixth formers in terms of quality of artifact, in terms of openness with regards to story, in terms of narrative. And even in terms of kind of like, just the body language within the work, it's quite empty in the sense that you could mistake it for a kind of Andrzej Gursky or Thomas Ruff or whatever. You could almost mistake it for one of these kind of refined Jeff Wall kind of images.
Like, this piece is Muna's.
Dardan's picture.
Okay. Why did you say this?
I don't know, because it's in the middle.
I think it's Muna's picture because as you can see, see 5 Munas.
I kind of posed 3 key questions, and one of the questions is about a space that has a bad memory. One question is a space that has a rumour, and the other question is a space that has a space that you would take a celebrity.
I wouldn't say it's a bad memory now, but at the time I was kind of worried. That's when I came in late and I heard how Sarah had been involved in a car accident. I thought she was seriously hurt, but she'd only hit her arm. I think back to when it happened, I was thinking, well, I shouldn't have got so shook up about it and stuff, because she was all right. It's just the fact that I didn't know. I don't like it, to be quite honest now. Seeing as I've seen the effect, I like the meaning behind it, but I don't actually like the picture itself. It just doesn't look nice. I'm blurred, but that might be interpreted as confusion or unhappiness or whatever. Yeah, they're all smiling, I'm just impassive.
In the visual art world, in terms of photography, there's always the absence of the smile. It's almost like the smile means it's like a candid home shot, and there seems to be that kind of emptiness. And what I've realised is that I'm almost like a victim of that by always wanting that kind of emptiness in their photograph. And somebody might have cracked a joke or broken wind and someone's giggling. But I'd wait until that person was empty again, then I'd fire it. It also plays with optical illusion that each individual is in focus. So when the images are laid together, you kind of look at it and you're not quite sure why there are these slippages. And they also live as archival images. When this building gets flattened, the images will remain of the first floor, the second floor, the fourth floor, the huts where people would smoke, the bunking areas.
As you know, on the 20th of April, the Serpentine Gallery is having the first exhibition of our work. The final exhibition is going to be on July the 7th. All our pictures, everything we've been doing is going to be in school. The one on the 20th of April is just going to be 3 pieces of our sixth form pictures. When we published the booklet, that was the picture that came up on the...
So people are going to expect it
They're going to expect it to be there. So that's already one gone. In the end, we only have now 2 to
When we're going to decide for which pictures we're going to be using in the exhibition?
I think I heard Faisal say that they're going to choose what pictures to go up, and I'm dead set against that because it's our exhibition.
Exactly.
So we choose what 3 we want.
We were going through some kind of editing process by asking them to kind of select what images that they liked to go in the show. So there was about 10 images on the table. Now they selected they paid it down to 3 images that they like as images. And when they placed them side by side, they didn't say, no, it doesn't work. When it comes to selection, it's not necessarily the ones that you just like an image. You need to like the whole kind of train as to whether or not they complement and they have a dialogue and whether they kind of function within that space. By next week, Friday, we would have sorted out what we're going to have in this exhibition. Because it's your show, it's not mine, it's your show.
I don't like that.
I thought we already picked out the 3 or 4 that we wanted to have in the...
So you've made a kind of a selection of the 4 that you guys may want to use in the show. And then the Serpentine have to say, well, yes, okay, we'll take 2 out of the 4. Or we may take 3 out of the 4.
We started off with all of the images on the table.
And we kind of pared it down to the images that, that end up being in the show.
So it was, a very, very kind of difficult choice. This is a little taster of what's to come in July, really.
As a group of images, I think they all work on their own, but collectively they show the expanse of the school in terms of what students are interested in and what spaces are relevant to them.
I would hope that the students are excited by seeing the images large scale. I would hope that they can kind of start to appreciate how important and amazing their work is up to this point, and also to see how it could potentially get bigger and even more ambitious in how it might be presented. I would say that these images are very much about the student community presenting a positive image of their school, presenting them as kind of responsible young people who've got really important things to say.
I mean, my ambition for these images is to have them possibly placed in the actual school itself, possibly 4 times, 5 times the size, to engage with the architecture and engage with the students and the staff.